Fetch is a built-in JavaScript method that allows us to make HTTP requests such as get, post, put, delete, and others to interact with web APIs. It's an essential tool for web developers because it is modern, promise-based, and works directly in the browser. So let's see how it works. We will use the JSON placeholder API, which provides fake data for testing. Here is a basic example to fetch a list of posts. Here we use the fetch method and pass in the API URL. This sends an HTTP GET request to the server. When the server responds, the then method is used to handle the response. And now here we have response. And now if we try to console log our response, we will see a response object. So let's do it. So as we can see here, we have a response object which contains properties such as status, headers, status tags, URL, and so on. So when we make a fetch request, we get a response object with useful properties about the HTTP request. But we still need to do more to extract the actual data. The response object has a method called JSON that returns a promise. So now let's do it. So response.json parses the response body and converts it into a JavaScript object. However, because parsing JSON takes time, JSON itself returns a promise. This means it's asynchronous and we need to handle it with then. And now if we try to log response JSON directly like this, we are logging the promise, not the actual data. So you will see something like this. So what we are seeing here is a pending promise. Since JSON is asynchronous, it doesn't immediately resolve to the parsed data. Instead, it returns a promise, which will resolve when the JSON is fully parsed. This is a common pattern in JavaScript when working with asynchronous operations. We need to handle the promise with another then to get the parsed data. In this case, the data will be the actual content returned by the API, an array of posts. And now we have our data. We see these posts, okay? So the main thing here when working with fetch is to pass in the URL, and then you need to take a response and convert it to JSON. And then with that data, you can do whatever you want. So pass in a URL, convert the response into JSON, and do whatever you want with that data. So in this example, we didn't handle any potential errors, but in real-world applications, it's important to deal with issues like network failures or server errors. So let's extend our previous code to handle errors. So if response is not okay, then we want to throw new error. So let's do it. And now we shouldn't forget to return our response. So let's say response.json, okay? And now we need to add another method, which is called catch. The catch method is used to handle any errors that occur in the fetch operation, okay? So the difference between response.ok and catch is that response.ok checks if the response was unsuccessful based on the HTTP status code. If it's unsuccessful, we throw an error to stop further processing. Catch method is a global error handler that catches any errors that occur anywhere in the promise chain, including those manually thrown using throw. Okay, I think it's clear. Now let's try to make a post request to the server. So let's do it. Okay. So here we need to specify the method that we're going to use. This specifies that the request method is post, meaning we're sending data to the server rather than retrieving it. Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is to write headers. So we need to say content type application JSON. So here we set the content type to application JSON, indicating that the body of the request contains JSON data. And the next thing that we need to add is body. So actually what we want to post, what we want to create, okay? So here we need to say json.stringify. We use json.stringify to convert our JavaScript object into a JSON string before sending it. So let's see what we need to pass by looking at one of these. So here we need to pass body. ID will be handled automatically. So here we need to pass body, title, and user ID. So let's do it. Body, I'll say text. For title, I will say title. And for user ID, I'll say 4. Now to actually see whether we managed to create a post or not, we need to say dot then, and here our response. So let's say response.json, and here we have access to our data. So we need to console log data. And now, after saving this file, we should see our newly created post. So let's do it. And here we go. This is our newly created post. And for other methods such as put, patch, and delete, the process will be almost exactly the same. That's it, guys. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that.